Yeah, good morning to Evans Mensah, who just came to warn Roland.
Yeah.
Stay away from Mama V.
Stay away.
Okay, we've got lots of messages. There's another one that says, oh, thank you. When you say I look good and I look authentic, like somebody said, I'm simple. My husband is saving a lot of money. So send us messages, but please include your name
I always say that.
when you send us those messages right here on our platform. We'll read more of your messages in a bit, but we want to do the newspapers.
Yep.
Roland, would you start it off?
Yep. You have the Daily Graphic with you?
No,
Okay.
but do the daily guide.
No, sure. That's always the first paper I'll do.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking
Because
at
you've
some
got the
other
paper
story.
in your hand.
All right. So we have the front page of the Daily Guide. It has on the front page, Charlotte Osei blows 4 million Ghana cedis on office. EC staff cry out, apparently. We're told that 115 customs officers interdicted over fraud. A nationwide property revaluation begins. So, Charlie, get ready. Minister also fires Shraj over bond report, and Isaac Osei wins contempt case. Very interesting as it is.
What contempt case is there?
You know, they had an interview and they talked about a former managing director who was still occupying his bungalow and something like that. Yeah. So
okay.
talk about it's on their YouTube channel. So I watched it a couple of weeks ago.
The interview, the original interview.
The original interview.
Okay.
He had an interview. Paul Adumotre had an interview on Good Evening Ghana with Isaac Osei.
Okay.
And
somebody reproduced it.
No, they talked about generally the problems of TOR, etc. So the former managing director was cited in one of the discussions.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
the sections about. It was about him still occupying his bungalow.
Okay.
And that he had tried to get it away from him, and he's taking them to court and that kind of thing.
Okay. So he's won that case. Is that what you
said?
said?
I think that's what
or
the gentleman took them to court for contempt, and then the court says that there's no contempt case at all.
Oh, okay. So essentially it's been thrown out.
Yeah.
All right.
So center spread. Apparently, there's going to be African Filmmakers Movie Awards 2017. Interesting it's gonna be, and you have a picture of Majid Michel. I thought they said he's a preacher now.
He is, but he still acts.
Oh, nice. Gospel movies. Oh.
I don't know, but I want to believe he's cautious what he's acting. I mean, it's not every script that he'll do.
Hey.
Aye, they.
Nana Yasin Yinego. Hey, Majid, why are you? Anyway, Adinate whips over film distribution. And those are the stories we have. So that's on the front page. So
let's do the Daily Graphic. I've got the Daily Graphic newspaper front page. Speed up passage of RTI bill. President tells Parliament. There's a beautiful picture. Who captured this one? Samuel Tay Adano. You'd see the President Akufo-Addo shaking hands with Miss Nena Wakama, who's Senior Policy Manager, World Wide Web Foundation at the Africa Data Conference in Accra. Looking on and also smiling is Mrs. Esla Owusu Ekofo, the Minister of Communications. Also on the front page of the Daily Graphic, leakages detected on TOR pipelines. President Akufo-Addo has failed nation coming out of the NDC's press conference yesterday. Mr. Kofi Potoffe, the NDC national chairman, addressing the press conference. That picture captured there on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. But this story on page 16 about a leakage, something of the sort at all, is one that is of interest. An emergency operation was yesterday carried out by personnel of the Fire Safety Department of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to prevent a possible fire outbreak following leakages on 18-inch diameter crude pipelines of the Tema Oil Refinery. The leakages are said to have been noticed last Monday, but the operations was carried out yesterday. So a picture of it in the paper. This on the big NDC press conference that happened yesterday, essentially responding to that encounter the president had with some selected journalists on Tuesday. And the story says the leader and national chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Kofi Potoffe, has stated that the Akufo-Addo and Bawumia-led government has woefully failed as managers of the affairs of the state He chided the New Patriotic Party government for not settling down to the serious business of solving the challenges facing Ghanaians 6 months after coming into office, but skirting around its promises. And you can read on. It tells you all about how things unfolded at that press conference yesterday. Also, NDC will resist attempt to remove EC chair. Minority leader Haruna Idrisu also saying then that story is also here right in the paper. Back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper now. Farmers in Northern Volta regions benefit from food security project. Story says some 50,000 farmers in the Northern and Volta regions have benefited from a $6.5 million food security project that will guarantee them increased and sustainable food production in their respective districts. The rest of the story is right there, the back page on the graphic. Roland?
All right, so we have the Ghanaian Times on the front page. Hold government accountable. President urges citizens. The story is on page 16 of the paper. And then we have the Land Valuation Division embarks on nationwide property revaluation exercise. But also on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, we have AMA pulls down structures on East Legon Greenbelt. Catch it out. That place is a mangrove area, but they still build.
Is Legon Greenbelt? Where's
but
that?
Charlie,
Is Legon they've got a Greenbelt?
You know when you go to Dubai, they reclaim the land. So sometimes these days, once the technology is there, whether they buy it in a mangrove area or a wetland, they'll still reclaim it and build.
If we will not suffer consequences of that in 10, 20 years.
They did that. So there has been, you know, that was a serious flood, years. I think a month or two ago. Some of them were victims. They don't mind.
Yeah.
They build nice houses. On the back page, though, we have cerebral palsy victims to receive assistance. And then we have no street lights on Achimota Masaman Road.
Me, I've been talking about it, but it's like, okay, because you use that stretch. And everybody, Roland, I shared this with you this week. I was sharing how, I mean, it gets scary sometimes because everybody's using their, how do you call that lights? Is it headlights?
Yeah, headlights.
The brighter one. Because you really can't see.
Bless your vision.
Yeah, so those coming are using,
witnessed that severally.
those going are using.
And in the evening, when I'm driving, my headlight is always on because when it's low, I can't see anything. Yeah. It's not as if I'm blind or I can't see from far, but
yeah,
I just
and sometimes
I just want the way clearer than
I get
you
it.
Never know.
Sometimes you have to try to be sensitive to others so that when you get behind them, then you kind of like dim it. And because but others don't, and they're just behind you like
because
that.
I had an accident, I become traumatized sometimes.
Yeah,
so,
it's Charlie, it's not fine. Yeah. It's not fine. I know one of our reporters tried to do a story about the street lights. So you go to AMA and they say it's not them. Talk to ECG. In fact, ECG will say it's not them. Talk to this person. This person will say this. So I think finally I said talk to the assembly. I think I said talk to the assembly.
No, it's the highway authority.
Hey, Charlie.
The Ghana Highway Authority.
But that's a serious highway. The Amasaman, like the Nsawam.
Like this dawn, I was driving through the motorway, highway. And there was this tipper truck. It didn't have, the reflectors at the back. It didn't have the lights at the back. Just had some green something I was seeing somewhere. So I got closer. I saw that it was a tipper truck, and it was driving very slow. So you can imagine.
Okay, well, we will be hammering on this, seeing that another paper is talking about. So it's not like, it's only Mama who's talking about.
Have you done the next paper?
No, I haven't. I've got the
Finder. Please do the next paper. Let's move on.
Front page of the Finder right now. Despite marginal improvements in maths and English, WASSCE 131,760 to Miss Varsity. They failed to secure cutoff point grades of A1 to C6 in 3 core subjects. As scary as it sounds or looks on the front page of the paper, I'm not worried because a lot of us would have been cut off and we wouldn't have been able to make it to the university. I mean, paper grades is not for everybody. You just have to go to the right institution. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, you don't have to go to the university straight away. You have to find your passion.
It's true.
Yeah, parents, stop being hard on the children when, they don't make the paper grades. Ideally, they should. But if it doesn't happen, it's because somebody's taking their daughter
don't give them pressure
to the university, so you want your child to. Maybe they have other passions.
Don't give them pressure.
Listen, you know, when you're old and you're working, nobody would come and ask you.
Which school do you went to?
Exactly.
No, but when there's old school meeting and you don't
Please.
you are not Achimota old school,
So
Infant
what?
old school,
I am
Bishop Herman
Zico.
old school and that kind of
I
thing.
am
It's a problem.
Zico.
Yeah, I know,
Am I not human? Eh?
You
Yeah.
will never lose an argument.
I don't know.
With you,
Let's
so
not.
Have you finished?
I want my children to pass, but you know, there should be room for. I haven't finished, not quite.
Kelly, your children, when did they go to school?
Waits into That's about the fifth time you're asking me, but I'm not telling. Shrash waits into forced marriage involving 13-year-old JHS2 student. That's also a story in the paper today. Open data and information key to Africa's development, according to our president. Check this out. There are some people who are trying to take selfies with the president. That's been beautifully captured here. President Akufo-Addo poses for a selfie with participants of that particular conference right there. Everybody's smiling. Yep. How about a selfie with the president? Yeah, that should be cool. All right, NDC demands answers of MPP campaign promises. 6 months. Details of that in the paper. That's it for the Finder. Roland?
So we have the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. A story of creation of new district Ashanti and Eastern to get more Akufo-Addo. And now we have Akufo-Addo's press and journalist graded. On the back page, Mamavi did not go, and so she's down, down, down. Roland did not go down, down, down.
Abego.
But those who did
Don't
well,
put me in your category.
In order of
people who are not happy they were not invited.
They were graded by Class FM 91.3 FM, and Bernard Avle.
So that's the grade. Okay.
Bernard Avle is 1. Yes, he asked
I think he asked
the
absolute intelligence
and then
question.
Abdul Hayy Mumen, who's late tonight with Mumen also, or late tonight with Mumen on GTV, as well as GTV 24, and then we have Charles Techibwedu Mumen tonight. Okay, so Charles Techibwedu of the Daily Guide.
Okay. Honestly, I don't remember the questions.
And then Captain Smart, you didn't watch
the ambulance. I did.
Captain Smart asked about the ambulance, but also
because he's an ambassador.
Premised it on a lot of statistics, and I think that was great as well. So Captain Smart is there, and then comes Ivan Spencer, the short man who just left here. And then we have Thomas Nadi, works with
BBC
the correspondence with the BBC, and Wilberforce Asari of Star FM, Adekwesi Majup, Metro TV.
Are you saying? I thought you were going to talk about the first 3, but I don't want to know.
I'm talking first 10.
I don't want to know
I'm talking first 10 because some of my favorites are in the first 10.
So Nana
Banamwa, JH1, and then we have
she's number what?
Number 9, and then from Adom FM we have Ifia Pupia.
She's number 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's.
But I can go up to 20.
Masa, let's do the Weekend Today newspaper. Who wants to know, really? Who wants to know? The Weekend Today front page: Ghana to become digital hub. That's according to a deputy communications.
Our data runs like crazy.
Minister George.
Very expensive.
George Anda. That story is on the front page of the Weekend Today. Also, mother-daughter matching. Oh, seriously? Okay. That's it for the paper.
But that's it for that paper. But we have the last paper here before we go to the various online portals. And we have to look at the Daily Statement. It has on the front page, Mahama now chief lobbyist for Dubai companies. And it talks about a story that he was in Namibia lobbying for a Dubai company or Dubai companies to have the energy plants there. We have John Bwedu, Kofi Portofay, craving for attention, he says, and data access key to national development. All these on the front page of the paper, the Daily Statesman newspaper.
All right, let's turn our attention to some messages that you've sent in whilst we get ready to do our online review. We'll start from myjoyonline.com, definitely, but this one is an SMS message that has come through from Mugabe of Ola SHS Kenya. Say, where is our Mugabe? Our radio Mugabe. It's been a while. This one says, I want the NDC to give us a break on the economic management of Ghana. If they had done it well during their time, wouldn't they be praised? Allow Nana to manage your self-inflicted disease on Ghanaians. That's from Mugabe of Ola SHS Kenya say in B, sending us that message. You too can send us either a regular text message using the same number you see on your screen, or you can send us a WhatsApp message. Here's a WhatsApp message from our friend Michael Ameni in the UK. I thought you had transferred your love somewhere else, but you're still with us. We appreciate this message that you sent. And the message says, indeed, the devil finds work for an idle hands, and the conduct by the NDC press conference upon press conference is not surprising, but this irresponsible conduct is eroding their credibility and relevance in Ghana's politics. Okay, essentially that's your message. Thanks a lot for the message. This one says, Roland, I admire what you're wearing.
It's by Ellis Couture, and Ellis Couture is based in Tema. Just in case you don't know, the number is 0. I can't advertise on the show, apparently.
From Water Eniendi, and I'm keeping all the positive things you say, but see why I don't tell him. Yeah, so this one says, today is my birthday. Oh, we thank the Lord for your day today. You say, I thank the Lord for adding 1 year to my age.
If it's in Accra, please, your lunch is on me.
Oh, please. Paul,
if you're in Accra, please come for lunch.
Kojo Apple at Aguna Swedro. We wish you a happy birthday today. Paul Kojo Apple at Aguna Swedro. Happy birthday to you. Enjoy your day. Here's one that says, Mama V. Roland seems to downgrading your Zico anyway because he attended the greatest school in the country. Okay, what he did and what you're doing right now, what's the difference? But it doesn't matter what you say. I am super proud of my Zico.
Charlie, let's do online portal. We have myjoyonline.com.
I haven't said so. Yesterday, I gave you your day.
Okay.
I read 2 more messages before we go. If you like, go.
Oh, this one. You told me
somebody
yesterday
is saying something nice about you, but
I'm supposed to be head of the house. Now
you don't rule
abuse of
incumbency. This one says, can you please come in front of the desk? Hey. Want to take a snapshot of my fabric. Success Yabua in Pando in the Volta region. Okay, Fred, the message is to you. He says, get closer. Me, I can't get close. It's Fred who can come close. So Fred will give you that shot somehow in the middle of what we are doing. Then you can take the shot that you're looking for. Yeah, let's do the online review now.
All right, so we have the online portal, myjoyonline.com. We have Mama V. This one about judicial.
I thought you said we have Mama V, so I was
You're talking too much. That's the problem.
Echima in Wabieja District Judicial Service tops corruption lists. Oh my God. According to the Ghana Integrity Initiative, the Judicial Service has been ranked the most corrupt public institution in the Echima in Wabieja districts by the people in the area. Also on our page this morning, the full text of the NDC press on the Akufo-Addo government. If you missed it, you can catch up. Oil prices remain steady at $49.68 per barrel. Volta Region Youth share ideas at Maiden Entrepreneurship Seminar. So also another story on our page this morning. You can check it out. Teens from Burundi robotics team go missing in the US. This was a conversation that was had even before this event, because guess what? Some of the countries were refused visas, so it became very topical. Only for these people to go to to the US. You see why Trump doesn't want you to come to his country?
Burundi, they went there and they got missing.
Unconfirmed reports say 2 of them.
16 teenagers.
No, 16. Ages between, I think it's 16 to 18 or so. And the report I had yesterday, which was unconfirmed, was that 2 of them had run into Canada. So if Trump decides not to give you a visa, then you blame him. But you go just for a program, then you run off. You see? But it's a shame, really, if this is true. Congo's Kabila and family worth millions, according to new reports. So I listened to this report on the BBC, and I think it was a smart interview. The person doing the interview absolutely loved it. So, this guy is going on and on and on about how the president and his family are involved in a lot of things in the country. How Vodacom, for instance, parts of it is owned by his sister. They've got mining concession bigger than what, according to their laws, an individual can own. Lots of things. Then the person interviewing just said, is what is happening in Congo any different from what is happening elsewhere in the world? And then the guy said, oh, you know, I'm from the US. I mean, what is happening? It's not different. But of course, I mean, it's appalling as it is. But this is not to say it's only in Africa, it's everywhere else in the world, as we've seen, even in, you know, Venezuela, wherever, ever, you know. Ever. Yeah, even in the US.
Okay.
Oh, you've heard about that caution that Trump gave that they shouldn't investigate his family finances.
Yes.
See, it's everywhere. Sorry, a law not in conflict of interest position representing EC chair, according to a law lecturer. A law lecturer and legal practitioner says lawyers for the EC, sorry, a law are not in breach of conflict of interest situation with decision to represent the commission's chairperson. I think that's the same law firm. That's the EC's in terms as in the electoral commission's law
as a body
lawyer as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so apparently there's no conflict of interest. Impeachment petition against EC chair likely to fail, also according to a lawyer. You can read all about it. Let's just brush through our page. Peace Council calls for dialogue in electoral commission. Wow. Oh, there's a story. There's a story, B, that I want to share, but I have to look for it. So Fred, please look for it for me. Yesterday was Uncle Ebo White's birthday. And I took part in the celebrations yesterday because, you know, we cut a cake and all. We'll look for those pictures and share with you just before we run off. In the meantime, we'll do City FM online and then we will touch base with the BBC and hopefully we'll come back and we'll see the pictures. Uncle Ebo White's 63rd birthday and the cake cutting ceremony that happened across the road from where we are yesterday. Roland City.
Okay, so we have City Minister sued over unlawful deportation of an Indian national. You have a next story. Katie Hammond wants government to withdraw a Mary deal and 5.6 million government cash was spent on 6 March and we don't owe Chief Moomen anything. Ghana at 60 committee. Well, so we have other stories there. Now let's go to the Africa page of the BBC. And if you go to the Africa page of the BBC, we have Burundi robotics teens go missing in the United States of America. They got missing, yeah.
You know, other countries were refused visas, especially the Muslim countries.
Okay.
Yeah.
The 6 teenagers were taking part in an international robotics competition held in Washington, D.C.
In Trump's town. No, Trump's country.
Well, can we read that story?
No, essentially we've told them what it's about. Yeah.
Don't
Ghanaians also go and get missing?
No, as for Ghanaians, you don't even have to take us there. Even from here, we get missing. It's serious. As for us there, I keep wondering. I say every time they say slave trade. You know, they brought their ships here and they took us. I think on the scruff of the neck without our own will. But now they should bring their cruisers around. We will gladly just be walking to Takoradi Port.
Have I shared this story before?
The person we call a brochure. Benedict also is one.
So, Roland, have I told you this story?
No, you have
Many years ago, when I was working, when I say many years ago, like I'm some old woman, when I was working with Sky Power FM in Takoradi, on one fine April Fool's Day morning, we announced on radio that the US was looking for people to go to Afghanistan to go and fight for them. And they wanted volunteers to come to the station.
People came?
Massive!
They're talking about that. I think that we should do that next year.
And then they were going to give them citizenship. They'll give you the green card to live there. You become an American. But you have to go to Afghanistan and Iraq to go and fight.
And they're willing to go and fight?
Damn, yeah, for a green card.
It's not bad.
When it turned out it wasn't true, people wanted to beat us.
It's only in Ghana. You go to church, they said that you shouldn't stake lottery. It's gambling, it's against God's will. But those same people will go and stake American lottery. It's the same process. So they wheel the thing. It's true. Okay. The preacher said lottery is not good, but Visa lottery is correct.
All right. So your Sunday school teacher, what do you tell your students?
Lottery is not good. But if lottery is not good, American Visa lottery should not be good as well. That's all I'm saying.
God.
But in the church we pray. We pray. All
right. 3 more things that we want to do just before we wrap up. Uncle Level White celebrating his 63rd. Okay, so look at me right now. What do you think I was doing, Roland?
Yeah, give up Bill. Massive support. So I can see Emma Morrison, Raymond Akpa.
Yeah. There's Karen.
Wow.
There's George Rafi as well.
Wow.
And there's Inshira, whose face is hidden. But we've got, I think, 2 more pictures when you scroll down. Yeah. This one was in my cake.
Why is that Raymond Akpa's head is occupying the middle of
He said it was fact checking. Yeah. But we will present the AM cake on Monday. The AM birthday cake. There's one last one.
Where's the cake?
Oh no, there's
it's
one last
good
picture.
In the blazer.
There's one last picture.
What?
Yeah, this was when, you know, yeah.
Wow.
So happy birthday to you,
Uncle
Boy. This was the radio cake. See how small it is. The TV cake is going to be bigger on Monday.
Bigger.
Yeah, bigger and better. Yeah.
Right.